Hello everyone, this is a brand new format that I'm trying on my channel. I'm not exactly an expert on hero builds in Dota, but I thought I might try it out on a few heroes I feel that I'm fairly good at. And then if it goes well, I may have some friends do builds on heroes that I'm not so great with. So, in short, bear with me as I do some serious trial and error on this video and maybe a few future videos. And with all that out of the way, let's go ahead and get started. While this build does work if you go into top or bot lane, I usually only play at mid. If you're new to the game, you've probably heard someone say that Pugna's a support and he doesn't play mid lane. Don't listen to these people, they really don't know what they're talking about. Pugna doesn't have too much to offer as a support, and he's usually best mid. But you can take a partial support role if you're top or bot with a hard carry. So you could buy wards or you could let them get most of the last hits. That's all fine and dandy, but where Pugna excels is mid. He does mass damage, and even though he has lower health than most carries, his ult is an ability that can keep him alive in a fight. He plays well with other heroes who do magic damage, and can save teammates if the other team has mostly non-magic attacks. For example, anyone who relies on right clicks. But be aware that your Decrepify can make your teammates easy targets for anyone with high magic damage. It can also frustrate your right-clicking carry teammates when chasing a hero. Pugna is also especially great for countering heroes that have high mana magic abilities, and ones with spammable abilities, like Invoker or Shadow Demon. Pugna is a fairly fast hero, and his right click has a fair bit of range. It does have a slight delay on casting, but the timing of it, at least for me, makes it easier to land last hits. He's also incredibly good at pushing. His Nether Blast does affect towers, and at high levels, you can take towers very quickly, and with a team, you can take them in no time. The ability build can change slightly for Pugna depending on how things go, but it's fairly simple. First things first, who is your opponent mid? If it is someone with high magic damage or who spams abilities, level your Nether Ward first for easy harassment and mana drain. After that, we want to level back and forth between Nether Blast and Decrepify. However, if they do not have high magic damage or do not spam abilities, go with Nether Blast, then Decrepify, and then the Nether Ward at level 3. Without any adjustments, my ability build is as follows: Q, W, E, Q, W, R, Q, W, Q, W, R, E, 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 stats, and R. And then all stats from there. Before I go on to the item build for Pugna, please remember that it can change a little bit depending on how you play and who your opponents have chosen. This is a basic item build that I go for every game, but it will change sometimes. Early game. Boots. That's it. We need the speed, but that's all I go with. It seems strange, but it always works for me. If you're really concerned about health, you could pick up some tangos, but Pugna has lots of range, and he has lots of speed to dodge magic area cast abilities. Most heroes who have target abilities don't do a lot of damage early game, but if they do, you could pick up some raindrops to counter that. After that, we pick up a Void Stone. I assume that you are okay at landing last hits, and since you're mid, you should get this fairly fast. It's an expensive early game item, but it will pay off. Before I get into the core items, please remember to keep some Town Portal scrolls on you. No one ever mentions these in their builds, but I don't think there's a build I have where I don't have 2 to 3 in my inventory at all times until late game, when I need room for other items. So please remember to keep some in your inventory. Let's go on to the main items. Arcane Boots. They could technically be early game, but I'll put them in core, since they're fairly essential in the build. The little mana shot they give can be extremely helpful during a fight when you're throwing down every ability you've got. After that, we'll grab our Aghanim Scepter to upgrade your ult and remove its cooldown. And then finally, pick up an Aether Lens to extend the range of your abilities. You could skip the Aether if you need to rush something like a Dagon for some damage, but I almost always buy it and it's always helpful. Late game. Now you can start to adjust the build as you need to. If you find that you're dying a lot and need some escape, pick up a Shadow Blade and eventually upgrade it into a Silver Edge. But my main build always consists of a Dagon, and I max it. The Dagon is magic damage, and what does our Decrepify do? That's right, it increases magic damage. The burst damage from this combo can be overpowered and can sometimes one-hit weak heroes if they're underleveled. Always cast Decrepify, then Nether Blast, then hit them with the Dagon before the time on Decrepify runs out. After that, you can upgrade your Void Stone to something like a Lincoln Sphere. You could also do a Lotus Orb. And finally, you can upgrade those Arcanes to Guardian Greaves. This can be especially helpful for your teammates, and at this point the Arcanes may not be as helpful as they've been early game or mid game. I suggest those last few items, assuming you never bought the Shadow Blade. If you did buy the Shadow Blade, you should adjust your build according to what you need. Often when I do a Shadow Blade build, I end up selling my Arcane Boots and Town Portal Scrolls, and then buying Boots of Travel, which I would upgrade when possible. Especially if it's a close game and you're in a pushing battle. But remember that you may need to save gold for buyback if it's a close game. Don't waste all your gold on items. In conclusion, if you follow this guide, you'll be a master Pugna. Well, I won't make that guarantee, but hopefully this guide did help. If you liked it, leave a like. If you didn't like it, and I inevitably bought some stupid item I shouldn't have or mispronounced something, leave a comment about it. Maybe in the future I'll update this build or I'll correct the mistakes in future builds. Other than that, I think this video is over. I'll see you guys around.